With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tyler with Black Diamond Softball and Fitness, and I got a brand new episode of the Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily Show, presented by the Loud Cup. Elevate your fan game with Loud Cup. Our revolutionary design transforms your cheers into sippable delight. Whether you're rallying your team or celebrating a win, Loud Cup enhances the thrill. With an array of vibrant colors to match your favorite teams, you can make every game a home game. Don't miss out. Visit loudcup.com to see why Loud Cup is a sports fan's best friend. Yesterday, I had mentioned a little bit about the value that we get from travel sports and travel softball in particular. And there's a few different groups on Facebook that I do post my content in just to get conversations started and get people's opinions and to get me to think in sort of in a different mentality, looking at things from other perspectives. And when I posted that, I think I posted it in 3 different groups. And there were some good responses. There was some crazy opinions on some stuff, and then there was some really good perspectives that I want to mention. I want to kind of talk about the value again today. When we talk about going to these tournaments and the money that goes into it, of course, we want as much as we can get out of it. We want as many ball games as we could get in. We want the games to last as long as they can. And we don't want to overpay or double pay or pay for something twice. So just looking at some of the comments and sort of some of the threads that came off of it, the first one I want to talk about is gate fees and where do those gate fees go? Why aren't they included into the entry fee of the tournament and that kind of thing. So there's a couple of different examples, and throughout the state here in South Carolina, it's different. Throughout the country, in different pockets, it's different. So we all have a different experience when it comes to what it means to play in a tournament on the cost side of things. So just for this particular scenario in this example, and just to kind of get a little bit of clarity, I don't want to say that how it's ran here in South Carolina or how my experience is run is the gospel. I'm just giving you sort of a rundown, and I'm going to pull from some of these comments and try to at least give you the experiences from here. And it could be the same or it may be different, and see which one you may like more. Maybe you could transfer a message over to somebody, or you could look at like, hey, we do have it better than some. It could be worse or this or that. So my daughters have played in different tournaments. I've coached in different tournaments in and out of the state with different tournament sanctioning bodies, different areas, just whoever owns the park and this kind of thing. So bear with me just a little bit on this. There are some tournaments that are like these $99 super savers. And there's one particular tournament sanction that runs these tournaments at an incredible discount. So you have to ask yourself, how much value is in that $99? Granted, it's a cheap, team fee to get there, $100. Well, you know you're going to end up paying for gate fee. It's probably going to be somewhere between 10 and 15 bucks, right? Going into that, it's safe to assume that there's not going to be a concession stand. It's safe to assume there's not going to be a whole lot of teams there. I think it's safe to assume there's not going to be a working scoreboard. I think it's safe to assume that the field maintenance isn't going to be ideal. Probably not raking fields and dragging fields in between games. On the flip side of that, there are tournaments in this area, and I'm sure you guys have them in your area too, where it's between $500 and $1,000. In my mind, it is safe to assume that there still could be a gate fee involved because the tournament director doesn't have control over the facility. So even though he is using those fields, he's renting those fields, that cost may only be covering the fields and the umpires. It doesn't that doesn't cover the cost of maintaining those fields throughout the day to pay those workers. It doesn't pay the janitorial services of keeping the bathrooms clean, dumping out the trash cans and stuff like that. So we don't know what he's being charged or she's being charged to cover the cost of running that tournament outside of renting the fields and the umpire dues. You can call up these places. You could call up Walnut Creek in Raleigh. You could call up Grand Park in Myrtle Beach. And I'm just using these two as examples because they're local to me. And find out, what does it cost to rent a field per day? Every single facility in the last few years has gone up. Everything has gone up. So covering that gate fee with your team dues, some tournaments go ahead and add that into it. So it could be, for an example, $5.95 tournament fee for the team. Boom, that's off the rip. That's for your team to get put into the tournament field. Boom, there's $600 gone. We don't necessarily have someone sitting at the gate to take in individual gate fees. So as a team, it will be $300 for the weekend. That's $150 a day. So if your team brings 10 fans, it's $150 a day for those 10 fans. If your team brings in 100 fans, it is $150 for that day for that 150 fans. Okay? I don't know how fair that is. It is what it is. That's what they're charging. That happens to be the cost of doing business, and that's it. There are some places where it's just rolled up into one. Here's your team fees. It covers the field. It covers the umpires. It covers a gate fee. It covers everything. Boom. Here's the fee for $600. Here's the fee for $400. Here's the fee for $1,000. The bigger the tournament, the more fields they got to use. The newer fields, the better fields, the better maintained, the best concession stands, the better janitorial services, that kind of stuff. You can expect to spend more. But there are some things us as softball parents, softball coaches, softball fans, softball players that want to see the money going somewhere, and we don't want to just assume it's going to that tournament director's pocket. Now, if you've got some tournament director buddies, you'll know they're not rolling around in Mercedes-Benzes and Lambos and that kind of stuff. They're not rolling in the dough. And if they are, they're not getting it from tournaments, okay? They're not pocketing your hard-earned money. But on the flip side, if you've never put together a tournament and had to deal with teams and umpires and fields and all this kind of stuff, man, it's a big headache. And kudos to those tournament directors that do it, because man, they got to deal with us. They got to deal with me. They got to deal with you. Okay. But getting back to it, these fees, we wanted to, as a society, we want to pay less and get more. It doesn't matter what it is, whether you're going to Target, Walmart, Kmart, Roses, Winn-Dixie, Piggly Wiggly. Doesn't matter where you're going. You don't want to pay a whole lot, but man, you want to get a lot out of it. We all do. It's human nature. It's how we roll. But when it comes to something that is extra, when it comes to something that we're passionate about, we can overlook some things, and in some things we just can't. We feel we have this sense of entitlement.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
We've either been somewhere, this place does it like this. I don't know why they don't do it. Well, maybe they don't know, But anyway, getting back to gate fees and that kind of thing. If they rolled it all into one cost, of course, the cost, it would have that sticker shock. And they split it up to show you like, hey, here's a tournament fee, here's the gate fee. Or here's a tournament fee, it's $10 at the gate. Something like that. Another piece that more and more people were talking about were these stay-to-play events. If you don't know what a stay-to-play event is, an example of that would be one of these destination type tournaments, meaning there's not a whole lot of them per year under one tournament sanction per se. It's usually your bigger tournaments. It's usually the tournaments that have more teams. A lot of times they have more complexes or more facilities that they need to do and this and that. They try to schedule it out front because there's a lot of moving parts. They try to get the community involved. They want to provide, well, on the good side, their intentions are good. They want to provide a place where all the teams that are coming have a place to stay that's not too far from the facility, and it's a safe place because they want them to come back and compete again next year. So they don't want to put them in a junky hotel and for them to have a bad experience off the ball field that may affect them on the ball field to where they don't want to come back. So you have these stay-to-play events where, here's your entry fee to play, $800. Here's your tournament fee, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, on top of that, we're going to block off some rooms at a hotel. How many members do you have? How many rooms do you need? Blah, blah, blah. This is our team. We need a total of 12 rooms. Here we go. So that tournament director, that sanctioning body, that whatever, it could be a U-Trip thing, a Triple Crown thing, a USA thing, DC Fast Pitch, just whatever your sanction is, okay? They go and they block off rooms for all these teams at a discounted rate. And I say discounted in air quotes because we know hotel costs are ridiculous, where one family could pay $200 because they got it from this site or got it from that site. Another family could pay $120 because they got it from something completely different. But anyway, so you get to these stay and play tournaments, and the team has to stay at this hotel, or they pay an opt-out fee. So if you're not going to stay in the hotels that we are providing at a discounted rate, you and your team can opt out of staying there for a fee. And who knows what that fee is or why we have a fee or whatever. Contracts that they have, whatever. Nobody's going to lose money. The ones that's going to lose money are the ones that we're providing the service for. So boom, if you want to opt out, there is usually an opt-out clause in there and you have to pay for it. Or if your team is local and say, hey, we just stay at home, there's no reason for me to drive 20 minutes to a hotel when I live, 15 minutes from here, or whatever the case on that. So, but anyway, say you're coming from Texas, you're going to go play at Myrtle Beach. We need 12 rooms. Here we go. So they give us that rate. That's an additional cost onto that tournament fee. Now, granted, you would going to have to pay that anyway because you're not going to stay in your car. Hopefully, you're not going to stay in your car. I don't know. You could. But anyway, so they try to give you that rate. That's that stay to play. But here's where people have a problem with that. They want to be able to pick where they stay. Maybe they want an Airbnb. Maybe they want to stay oceanfront somewhere. This could be a weekend vacation thing that they're rolling into, watching little Susie play ball. And it's human nature to not want to do what you're being told to do. I'm a grown adult. I'm going to make my own decisions. And just because you're telling me I got to stay here, I don't want to stay there. I want to stay where I want to. I want to stay in that hotel across the street instead of staying in this one. So when it's being dictated to us, man, that's just how it is these days. No one wants to do what they're told to do. They want to have a say in it. And rightfully so. I agree. Have your say. If the deal works out for you, and you, like say you go to the Atlanta Legacy and you don't want to have to shop around and figure out where you want to stay at and this and that, and you want the team to stay close together, it's an easy way to have everybody in there. Let all that logistical stuff take care of itself. In a perfect scenario, when everything is taken care of, it's great. But take it from personal experience, there's not very many times that a stay to play, hotel or whatever, it goes off without a hitch. And can you imagine? I know parents, y'all got some horror stories. Coaches, y'all got some horror stories when it comes to a tournament being rained out, a tournament being canceled. Trying to get your daggone money back, whether it's the team fee for playing in that tournament, it's the money back that you paid in for that hotel. Because as an individual, say I want to go stay at the Marriott for whatever the cost was, and $200 a night, and the tournament gets canceled, I find it easier for me to get my money back on that than it is we paid, this much money for the weekend at a stay and play, and it's ran through some third party, and we didn't cancel in time because we didn't know the tournament was going to get canceled, or it got canceled halfway through or something like that. So it's just always a headache when it comes to trying to get your money back on a stay to play. That's just one element to that. It used to be a popular thing to do. It would be a part of it, like a package deal, but times have changed, and there's not a whole lot of people that like that stay to play format, just because they don't want to be dictated to. Now, on top of that, some of the comments were talking about concession stands and the coolers and stuff like that. I've been to some tournaments where you can't bring any outside cooler in. You can bring in water and that's it. No Gatorade, no Monsters, nothing. Maybe your coffee mug or something like that, but no outside food or drink. They want you to purchase it there. So a part of that, the cost of that tournament director getting that facility to play was, okay, yeah, you can have it at this price, but the patrons can't bring in their own coolers. They have to buy their stuff from the concession stand. Well, we've all been there, and the concession stand runs out of food and drink. You got athletes on the field that, maybe they've ran out of water, or they weren't allowed to bring in a cooler, so they don't have their stuff. And then you've got kids with medical conditions that, special diets or whatever. You have to consider that. So these facilities that won't allow you to bring in your food and drink, I don't get down with that. Now, I understand the reason behind it, and their side could be it helps us keep alcohol out. It helps us keep the facility a little bit cleaner. It helps the facility make more money. There are reasons behind that, and I get that. I see both sides on this, and me personally, I say allow the families to bring in their coolers, because, hell, I'm a responsible adult. I'm not bringing in alcohol, and I'm going to make sure we clean up after our stuff, and we will still go purchase from the concession stand. That's how we are, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that are just like me. I would say a majority of the people are just like me. I've been to facilities down in Florida where you can buy alcohol from the concession stand at 8 o'clock in the morning. That is nuts to me. Mixing travel softball, travel sports in general, youth sports in general, with alcohol. Now, I know there's some mamas and daddies and aunts and uncles and stuff that will sit there on the benches, sit on the sideline throughout the day and just drink alcohol. And they think we don't know, but there they are. Most of the time they can hold their own liquor and that kind of stuff. Good deal. But man, let something happen to little Susie, and here comes mama popping off because she's full of Zimas. You know what I mean? Here comes daddy that tied one on last night, didn't get back to the hotel room until 2 a.m. this morning, And there he is at 11 o'clock, and he's just went out to the parking lot and pounded 2 or 3 beers. I mean, we know alcohol is around, but man, I'm telling you right now, I have seen it down at Space Coast in Florida. It was early in the day, and something happened between a coach and a parent, and there was a daggone knockdown drag out in the dugout. Now, I don't know how much alcohol was involved for that day, or what happened that night, but it's safe to assume that alcohol on some level was mixed in. So, but that's kind of going off of the cooler stuff. The reasons behind not being able to bring in your own food and drink, I get it. That it is a valid reason, but I think allowing people to bring in their own coolers is just going to be. It's just the way to go. Another thing is the facility itself. We're paying all this money. We're paying these tournament fees. Where does that money actually go? How does this facility make their money to keep the fields maintained? Working scoreboards, the dugout safe, the field, the grass, the dirt, the infield, the bases, around the batter's box, the pitching circle. Who's maintaining this? Is the cost of the maintenance coming out of this tournament fee? Is this facility ran by the county, the state, the city? Is it privately owned? Like, can we get some better fields? Now, on top of that, parents, we got to understand too, these fields are used, it seems like almost every single weekend. So there's a lot of wear and tear on that. Some of it you just can't avoid. We do have these facilities that have turf and stuff like that, and those have to be maintained as well. Grand Park here at Myrtle Beach has got some really great turf fields, and over the last couple of years, they've began to replace some of the turf, some of the fields. There's some that's a little bit weathered, some more than others, but they're continuing to replace that. And it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to play at Grand Park. We've played a lot at Grand Park, and the city of Myrtle Beach takes care of those. The cost for tournaments is nothing outrageous. We've played it some, depending on the sanction, depending on the guaranteed games, depending on the event. You could spend anywhere from $300 or $400 just in a entry fee to like $1,200 at that same facility, just depending on the different scenario. And I've been to some places where it doesn't cost a whole lot, and you love this facility. Down here, we have the shipyard in Mount Pleasant right by Charleston. It's a little bit more expensive tournament on the more expensive side, but the facility is incredible. It is incredible. From the concession stand to the bathrooms to the location to the turf fields to just everything that's there. The small kids have a playground. It's great. And I, like a lot of people, that's a destination type tournament for some people. You want to get there. That tournament fills up the year prior. They run baseball, they run softball there, different age groups and stuff like that. You can bring in your coolers, and you also have the concession stand. It's just a great place. It's on top of the water. It's awesome. Now, I've been to some other places too, and I don't want to name them because I don't want to embarrass them. I don't want to shine a negative light on them. But after that first game, the fields are almost unplayable, and it's just because they're ran down. They don't have the money to replace this or that. The scoreboards have never worked. And talking about scoreboards, we don't have to have scoreboards, but man, it's cool to have it. And there's a lot of places that I've been to that where on the backstop, there's a sign and it tells you how to operate that scoreboard. It doesn't need to be professionally done, just somebody that can do it. And just have them to where they're operable. But there's a cost that goes into that. We want it, so we should pay for it. Or, as a tournament director, we want these done and we play here a lot. Can we do something about this? What will it cost? It goes back to that squeaky wheel will get the grease. So if you haven't gone over to the Facebook page and some of these forums, there's a fast pitch zone, there's a fast pitch talk, and then there's one coaches, tips and drills and tricks and stuff like that. I post in there quite a bit because there's a lot of members on there from all walks of life. And I'll just leave it at that have opinions. And so the major ones that they were asking questions about, or at least responding to my question, was gate fees. Shouldn't be paying these because it costs so much. You know, I pay these dues to join the team. I pay these dues for just for the fact of playing in this tournament. Now when I show up, I got to pay $10 on Friday, $10 on Saturday, and $10 on Sunday. I got to pay $30 on top of what I've already paid. So since we paid money in some capacity, a lot of people feel that since I've paid some, I don't need to pay any more. Go ahead and get it all from me at once. Don't come looking for it again. So I've joined the team. There's my dues. Now we're playing in a tournament. I got to pay my dues for that tournament. And now as a team, I also have to pay these gate fees. So how can we, as a coaching staff or as a team mom, a team manager, something like that, how can we offset that and present some value there as well? Well, understand, as you're scheduling this stuff, do a little bit of research and see how that gate fee is going to be collected. If there's a gate fee the day of where patrons walk up and pay, not a whole lot you can do about that. Okay? That's just how it is. Unless you want to collect a fund, and it just kind of is one of those revolving things. I don't know how you could do that. A lot more, there's smarter people out there that can come up with some way that you could kind of collect it and redistribute it somehow, whatever you'll do. Maybe fundraise it. Hey, we fundraised $1,000 doing this. We're going to kick back money to everybody just to cover gate fees. I don't know. I mean, you're getting into the weeds on that kind of thing. I wouldn't touch it. But on the other side of that, you have these tournaments where, hey, it's $600 to enter as a team, and then we have a gate fee of $300. Fundraise that $300, or say, hey, we've got 10 ball players. It's $300. Every family, it's going to be $30. Now you could have single parents. I get it. You could have just one parent coming that day. You could have a family that has 6 people that are coming, and they're paying $30. So you got one that's paying $30, and then you got a group of 6 that's paying $30. It's really not fair, but it is what it is. I don't know any other way around that, unless we're out there as a team and we're fundraising this. That's another idea. So there's different things that you can do to kind of offset that. But coaches, when you're doing your scheduling, you need to look at that as a part of your total cost. Don't just go in and look at it and be, okay, this tournament's $400, this tournament's $400, this tournament's $400. Make sure what you're seeing, that $400 covers what. Okay. Also, think about that added cost. If you're traveling 3 or 4 hours, not a whole lot of people want to drive 3 to 4 hours in the morning, go play in a tournament, and drive 3 to 4 hours back, and then do it again Sunday morning. There are some that do it, but man, there's a majority of us. Again, if we're playing 3 to 4 hours away, and it's a Saturday, Sunday tournament, if the first game is late enough in the day, we may make that trip in the morning, stay Saturday night, and then come back Sunday when it's all said and done. There are others of us out there that will drive up Fridays, stay in a hotel Friday night, play our game Saturday, stay in a hotel Saturday night, and drive home Sunday. So coaches, think about that added cost to that individual family when it comes to the money that's spending. So yeah, it is a $400 entry fee, but what are all these other hidden costs that we can at least talk about in the beginning as we're scheduling, so parents aren't necessarily blindsided? Now, it could be a veteran parent that's been doing this for 6 or 8 years, but just reminding them, hey, this is a tournament that's away. There will be hotel fees that you'll have to come up with or whatever that's an added cost to it. This $400 is just for that. It's just for that entry fee. So if we can bring it up to people, if we can, kind of get everything out on the forefront, especially when it comes to money, and be able to present a value to something or a value for something, it helps parents out. Another comment that I was seeing as far as the values and stuff is organizations or teams that say one thing but do another. Meaning, we got a good core group. We're just looking for, a couple of bracket pitchers, which I can't stand the term bracket pitcher. I can't. Anyway, I'll move on past that. I won't talk about that today. I won't get on my soapbox again. But what value outside of wearing this uniform and being able to play the game, what value do you as a coach, does your team, and does your organization bring to me and my family? Because if it's going to be $1,500 a season, what does that cover? Does that cover uniforms? Does that cover our tournament fees? Is there any type of outside resources that we can tap into? Whether it's seminars, it's sports recruits. That's a big thing. Sports recruits. If you don't know what sports recruits are, I'll leave a link down in the description on this one so you can check it out. Sports recruits is a platform where, in a nutshell, potential prospects can gain exposure from colleges. You got your highlight videos you can post on there. You can track certain schools. You can favorite certain schools. Certain coaches, or every coach, can look at your videos. You can see who it is. You can message in between. You can research schools. It is a platform where you as an individual, it does come with a cost, but you as an individual can take control of your recruiting journey. So is that something that this organization does? Is that coach in tune with it, and they're helping those athletes with their sports recruits page? Or like with the Firecrackers, that the organization that I coach in, there's a ton of value. And I'm not going to get into the weeds on that value because I don't want to give away our secret sauce. Not that there is a secret sauce, but I don't want to give, too much away. You can find out about the Firecrackers. It's very easy. FirecrackersSoftballIncorporated.com, FirecrackersSoftballInc.com. Check us out on Facebook, and you can look at the value. You can see why organizations, not just the Firecrackers, but some of these bigger organizations that are around, are able to sustain that size. Yes, it is a name. And there's a lot that comes with that name. There is a level of respect. There is, however you want to look at it. Now, I get it. There's a bunch of people that don't buy into the big organization. Oh, it's just it's a money thing. These lower end teams are paying for the higher end teams. If you think that that's how organizations work, these bigger ones, I promise you that's not how it works. I don't care if you take my word for it or not. I guarantee you, in the Firecrackers organization, that my 18U team does not fundraise, does not take donations, does not send a single penny to our top tier teams in our organization. I promise you that. Our cost for being a Firecracker team does not cover someone else's cost to be a Firecracker team. It's our own cost for doing what we do. And on top of that, our organization promotes our brand within their brand. So, that's just Firecrackers. I know there's some big ones too, Bat Busters and Bombers and LLG used to be around, and there's some other ones that are big and they do things different. Okay. But there is value in that organization. Does it meet your needs though for value? And there are people that, within the organizations, like, hey, you need to get in an organization because they have the resources. Listen to those people. I'm not saying one organization is better than another and they do things, better because of this or that. I'm just saying it may fit your needs better than it fits my needs. This organization fits me, may not fit you. That organization fits you, may not fit me. So see what that value is. And if you're a part of one of those one-off teams where you're not a part of an organization, big or small, you're not a part of a regional organization, you're just doing this alone. You got, coaches that are doing their thing. Fees are lower, their resources and stuff like that. Are you getting the most bang for your buck? Because at the end of the day, mamas and daddies have control of the situation when it comes to where their daughter essentially plays. Because at that dinner table, if you're talking good about something, your kid's going to jump on board with it. If you're talking bad about something, your kid is going to jump on board with that. There's many times relationships are broken between player and team at a dinner table. There are many times that coaches get ran down at a dinner table. And then there's also many times that coaches get talked up at a dinner table. So I'm not saying it's all coaches get ran down or all parents are running their mouth. I'm not saying that. But the parents, if they don't see a value, it's hard for them to talk good about you. It doesn't matter what the situation is, because money is the root of all evil. Okay? So coaches, I'm going to wrap this up now. I know I've been kind of long-winded and I've probably lost some of you guys, and I do apologize. But coaches, try to seek out as much value as you can get out of every dollar spent, because you know it's hard to fundraise and it's hard to get money from parents, because put yourself in their shoes. They've got other bills. They've got other priorities. Okay. So try to get the most bang for your buck. Do what you can as far as sponsorships and fundraising and stuff like that. Lighten the load so that a parent looks at, okay, it's only costing me $500 for this season and we're getting all this, versus I cannot believe it's going to cost us $2,000 and we're only getting X, Y, and Z. Okay. So become a car salesman and present the value in a certain way to where they get that warm and fuzzy. Okay. Because ultimately you're trying to develop that athlete. Well, you got to break down mom and daddy to get to that athlete. So you've got to get them, you got to get them to take that armor off a little bit. You've got to do your due diligence. Not every tournament, not every tournament director, not every location, not every sanction is the same. There are some money-hungry people out there that will take your money, and these are the ones that could, they're taking you over there to the lemon lot, and they'll sell you anything. They'll tell you anything. Learn from experience. Get into these forums. Get into these social media groups. You don't have to comment on it. You don't have to, expose yourself out there. But get some personal experience from some people. Post anonymously. Ask a question. Has anyone ever played at X, Y, and Z? And get their opinions. You're going to get good and bad. It's just like anything. Look, it's like Yelp. You get in there and look at the reviews. But I did have some great responses on some of the group pages and stuff. I appreciate you guys commenting. If you commented, I tried to at least leave a like on it or heart it or respond to it. I try to react as much as I can. Sometimes I just get flooded with it. I have to turn the notifications off on the cell phone sometimes because it just gets flooded, which I absolutely love. I'm glad that my phone bothers me when I'm trying to record an episode, or if I'm trying to edit a video or something like that, and my phone is just chiming with Facebook comments and stuff like that. I absolutely love it. So keep it coming. The next time I post something that I know is going to get a lot of traction and a lot of people are going to respond to, I'm going to make sure I do one of these daily episodes about that, so that you can kind of get my reaction to it instead of me just typing something out. You can actually hear my reasoning behind whatever I'm doing, or get my response to your response. I love doing that. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the FPtFP Daily Show. If you've missed some episodes, they are getting put out on YouTube as well. It's just an audio version on YouTube for the most part on these the daily episodes. It's just easier for me to do that. It makes it easier for me to get them out. If we do the video and you can see me sitting here talking and stuff like that, it takes longer for it to render. There's more editing that goes into it, and it's harder for me to get it out on the day that I actually record it. So if I just keep it with sort of the stock image on your screen on the video side on YouTube, you're able to put it in the background and go about your business, clean the house, do whatever. Got it up on your TV, got it in your headphones. Boom. It's just like you're listening to it on the audio side. If you're checking us out on the audio side, I appreciate you. I am looking sort of at the feedback, the impressions and that kind of stuff that I'm getting on the audio side, looking at how I'm hitting the algorithm. And over the last couple of weeks, we have really taken off as far as new listeners. So if you're new here, I appreciate you guys. I say it at the very end, I think at every one of my episodes about sharing this with a friend and stuff like that. Before my mom passed away, and I was doing this last year, and I started to come up with something, and I did it a couple of episodes in a row, and we were talking on the phone, and it was funny. She had watched one of my episodes. She was messing with, she was playing with me, and we were getting off the phone, and she said, "Hey, son, make sure you share it with a friend and you tell him you love him." So she was picking on me, and I mean, she had heard it enough from me, and I know you guys hear it all the time too, but I mean, really, honest, truly, do it. If you know somebody that can get something out of this, or just wants to hear me talk about softball and get my opinion, and hear some old hick that, you know, has an opinion on something, you know, do you think they would like it? Share it, you know, find that friend that hasn't found me yet, or ask them, "Hey, have you heard about Foul Pole to Foul Pole?" And that's it. Send it to them. Say, "Hey, check this dude out." Make fun of me. I don't care. Listen, this guy, he ain't got a clue. He don't know what he's talking about. Some old rando guy out there acting like he knows something, and listen to him. Disagree with me. I don't care. I just want the conversation out there. That's it. So share this with a friend, and when you do, you tell them you love them.